My friend vanished during her bachelorette. When she reappeared, she claimed she was SA, but later admitted it was consensual. When I told her she had to confess to her fiancé, she said I was overreacting and just jealous. I'm 21, and my friend, 20, has been acting very odd. We went out for her bachelorette party on Thursday for a long weekend. Last night was the main party, where we all went out with her wearing her little bride-to-be veil and sash. Everything was going great. She was having fun. The point was for all of us to enjoy ourselves together, but after a while, she disappeared for a good hour. Another bridesmaid, and I went looking for her. We couldn't find her, but she texted us back saying she'd see us at the Airbnb we were staying at and that she just wanted some time alone, so we didn't push it. When she returned later, it was around 3 a.m. She seemed out of it and a little disheveled. She could have passed it off as partying too hard, but I had a bad gut feeling. At first, I thought she seemed closed off because something bad had happened to her. I wanted to give her space, but if something serious had occurred, I wanted to help. I spoke to her in private and asked about it. She said someone had hurt her. I immediately suggested going to the authorities to report it, but she vehemently denied wanting to do so. I figured this was normal. I've heard of survivors not wanting to report it. I didn't want to be too pushy, since it had only been a few hours, so I let it be. She said she just wanted to sleep, so I left her to it and checked on her every hour or so because I felt guilty. We had planned this trip for her, and something so terrible happening weighed heavily on me. That's what I thought, until Sunday at noon. She pulled me aside to talk again. I assumed she had changed her mind about reporting it, and I was ready to help her. Instead, she told me it was consensual. She had just wanted to experience something different before being tied down. She admitted she lied because she panicked and didn't have the energy to explain when she returned. This was shocking and incredibly icky for two reasons. Number one, she lied about being harmed, and number two, she cheated on her fiancé. She's been problematic since her wedding planning began, making unreasonable demands for bridesmaids' dresses and acting like a bridezilla, but this was a whole new low. I freaked out on her and told the other girls that while we were looking for her, thinking something bad had happened, she was actually cheating on her fiancé. Maybe it wasn't my place to make a scene, but I was done. I told her she had to tell her fiancé by the end of the week, or we would, since his family is paying for the entire wedding in June. If they needed to cancel and recover costs, it had to happen ASAP. She said I was overreacting, like a psycho, and claimed I was just jealous of her getting married and wanted to ruin it. But I have zero tolerance for cheating. Am I the asshole? Best comments. Well, what did everyone else say once you told them she was cheating on her fiancé? Just curious if they think you are or not. Everyone kind of believed it immediately. She's been less than ideal to deal with since she got engaged. It's like a new side to her as a bridezilla, and she started crying and saying it was a mistake, so she essentially confirmed it to everyone. How did she get into a bar at 20? We're in the UK. The age limit is 18. But we were at a pub where there is no age limit on entry, only on serving alcohol. Is it possible that she is lying on be consensual? I made sure to do my due diligence. I told her I would drop it and never bring it up again if that's what she wanted if it were SA. She said no, that it was some guy from high school she ran into. That could have also been a lie, and if it is the case, I will have a lot to atone for, but from her behavior and language, I think she meant it when she said it was consensual. Update number 1. I received an overwhelming response. Many people thought I was so bad for being mad over my friend lying about SA and for being against infidelity. I decided to expedite telling her fiancé. After reading the influx of comments justifying me telling him, I emailed him with a draft I'd typed earlier when she told me about this, with everything I knew of what happened and was told, and asked him to check with the girls as well if he had doubts, with a link to this post. He hasn't responded yet, and I don't know what I'd say if he did, because I'm not very close to him. I've told him, and I've cut her off. If they go on with the wedding, I've made it clear I'm no longer in the wedding party, and so are the 3 other bridesmaids, so she wouldn't have a wedding party if she moves forward. Appreciate the people who gave me genuine feedback and advice instead of outing themselves as terrible characters. Best comments. The people criticizing you for calling her out and telling the fiancé are probably okay with cheating. Good on you for having morals and values. He deserved to know so he can make an informed decision about his future. Going into this, I was worried I was overstepping, but then it hit me that if anyone disagrees with you for telling on a cheater who lied about being SA, they're not the kind of person you should be taking advice from. Seeing someone being cheated on and not telling them is awful. Imagine seeing somebody being fooled and not doing shit about it. In my opinion, that's being an accomplice of the wrongdoing. You were right for telling him. She's a shitty person. From my previous post, reading people saying I'd be an accomplice was scary, LOL, and I know I'd want to know if I were in that situation. Thank you for telling him. I'm relieved that at heart he had the information and can make his own decisions. Hopefully you hear back to know he got the message. I'd hate to think she could log in and delete it. I really didn't think that far. But also she doesn't know that I've told him. I really don't want to interact with her anymore. Instead of an email, I would have gotten his number if you didn't have it and shot him a text, as that's quicker and people don't always check emails, but good for you, you made the right decision. I don't have his number sadly, we're not close at all. If he doesn't respond, I'll probably contact him over Instagram or something. The only people deciding you're the bad person are people who have probably cheated before and been caught out. Or just pieces of garbage. Either way, you did the right thing. Update number 2. Next day. Some people suggested she could have been scared to admit she was harmed or too drunk to consent. I reached out and she didn't want to talk. Her mother called me, appalled that her daughter cheated. Apparently, she spoke to both her mom and dad. She chose her bachelorette spot because an old flame lives there and she planned on meeting him for a last time for closure or something. I only know this guy as her casual high school ex, so I didn't connect the dots immediately. While it's possible she drank more after leaving, she was responsible for herself after leaving and switching off her phone. What you do while drunk may not be your choice, but how drunk you get absolutely is. Some people asked why I didn't told everyone or publicly outing her. If I were the groom, I wouldn't want to find out at the same time as everyone else. It would have been humiliating. My goal was to let him know as the affected party, and he could decide how to proceed. The wedding so far is around £50,000, while the UK average is £23,000. That's why I prioritized informing him. I'm done with her now. Best comments. I thought the bride reappeared in a very drunken and disheveled state. Is it possible she drank with the other guy to excess? Was the party in a fun destination or just chosen for the guy? When I said disheveled, I meant more like her clothes were messed up. That's why I assumed the worst, because to me, I thought cheating wasn't an option, LOL. Maybe I was naive because I was thinking, who cheats before getting married? And when I said out of it, I mean she just wasn't talking and was avoidant when we were asking her where she was and telling her we were looking for her. Which she talks a lot, so again I assumed the worst, and the switched off phone, it was all sketchy to me. I think she may have drunk more with the guy, but she planned days in advance to see him. The location was about as fun as you can get in the UK. The pub was great, the Airbnb was nice, and we're all only 20 to 23, so a more lavish getaway wasn't really in the cards. But from her mother's wording, I think she picked the place because the guy goes to uni there. We do all mess up and that's okay, but that doesn't absolve you from the consequences of your actions. She can learn and move on from this, but her actions had consequences, and she found out. Imagine telling someone it's okay to be cheated on when you're committing your life to them and spending so much money to make them happy because they made a mistake. Her mistake is not his to bear, it's only hers. I do hope she learns from this and never hurts anyone again, but to dismiss everything as a simple mistake seems off-putting. Cheating and lying about being roped is not a simple mistake. It's just a sign of a crappy character.